Alright mates, welcome back to JL Scott Fishing. Hope everybody is doing well. I've had a lot of messages about this topic, so I want to do a video here, be kind of long-ish. But you can always hit me up at JL Scott Fishing and Eats on Facebook. Hit me a message if you have any questions about anything that I talk about in this video. It's pretty timely in a sense that right now I know a lot of the mates that I know are looking for sponsors, looking for pro staff opportunities, looking for all that stuff. Usually those things all get negotiated and get worked out by the end of October. Really from right now until the end of October, most of the companies in the fishing segment, and for the most part, a lot of companies, whether they're non-endemic to fishing and hunting or whatever, this is how they set up the next year. So it's important to understand that that's what you want to be looking at. And I will cover a lot of all that in other videos as part of this Pro Staff series. But today, the number one question I get is about audience. It's about growing your presence or audience on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever platform, really, okay? They're all very unique. They're all very different in terms of their algorithms or all that stuff. And it's one of those situations where you have to kind of get, you may not be that kind of guy. Like if you notice in the fishing industry, there are a lot of really, really successful fishermen, but they don't really do social media. That's just not that's not in their DNA, right? They're very quiet or humble or they don't like to be in front of a camera. Or they don't like to be, just like to fish and that's it. And you'll see that a lot, especially with older anglers and older hunters, right? Younger generations have more gravitated to because they've grown up with a cell phone in their hand. They're used to the technology. As soon as a new technology comes out, they pretty much adopt it, they accept it, they utilize it. So we're transitioning to that. So for me, I'm in my 50s now. And so I'm on the back end of that, competing really with people that probably understand, right, the engagement aspects of all these platforms more than I do, really, in terms of utility, because they use them all more. There literally dozens I don't use, okay? But you may want to use in terms of audience. So at the outset, as a pro staff, demo staff, sponsored angler, all of those things, depending on where you fall on that spectrum of opportunity provided you, the number one aspect that someone is going to look at in terms of sponsorship, in terms of pro staff, in terms of brand ambassador, in terms of demo, is going to be your audience. How many people can you reach, right? Because you, in essence, are a marketing arm of your brand. That is what you are, okay? And so understand that there are two forces at work, okay? Growing your audience on social media that is not your own, okay? And growing your own audience. And a lot of people struggle with that concept, okay? Because I'm on YouTube, and I think I have maybe like 12 or 13,000 followers on YouTube, okay? And I grew that YouTube channel. Fishing is, for me, in terms of pro staff, brand ambassador, audience engagement on YouTube, Instagram, is less than a year for me, okay? So that tells you what I'm talking about in terms of growing your audience. I've grown this channel to 13,000 subscribers in less than a year, okay? Like 9 months. Utilizing tools that I learned through other niches on social media, okay? And so those who know me personally, those who know me from my other channels know that I have, for the last 3-4 years, been heavily in the crypto space, okay? So a lot of the things that I learned on how to grow YouTube channels and how to grow TikTok and Instagram and all, and to cross-utilize platforms comes from an entirely different niche. But it works, okay? And so that's the experience, right? And on Facebook, from Facebook, my footprint on Facebook is probably about 100,000 followers if you combine Facebook pages plus groups, right? I don't have a fishing group, okay? But I have an 8,000 member Virginia Second Amendment group, okay, that I formed a few years ago that's grown to 8,000. And in a poll, over 38% of that group fishes. Okay? 78% of that group hunts. How do you figure that out? Polling your audience, polling your group, right? So you can cross-utilize those groups from Facebook, okay, in terms of growing your brand as an individual, okay, and growing your audience. So when I say audience, people automatically think, oh, well, how many followers do you have? How many subscribers do you have? In the big scheme of things, that doesn't matter, okay? In the big scheme of things, it matters how big your audience is. So what's the difference between having 13,000 subscribers on YouTube, okay? Someone having 100,000 followers on TikTok, 20,000 followers on Instagram, okay? 1,500 followers or whatever on Facebook versus your audience, okay? All of those social media platforms, you don't own that audience. It's not really your audience, okay? It's owned by Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. At the blink of an eye, it can be gone. And I can tell you, I have seen that and witnessed that, and so have you if you've paid attention to the news on Facebook. They can take your pages down just like that because it's not your audience. You have got to use that platform to create your own audience, okay? And how do you do that, right? You start by creating your social media audience, but you always understand that you want to be able to take your audience with you if you're a pro staffer. And here's why. Say you're pro staffing, all this year you pro staff for Rod Company A. And then something happened with that company, okay? The economy, whatever, they're scaling back. They're not going to do pro staff, okay? Look at like the boat. A lot of anglers used to be sponsored by boat manufacturers, right? Look what happened in the boating world, right? A lot of them just stopped doing it. Stopped sponsoring individual anglers, right? Okay. So then you go into Rod Company Y for 2023. Well, what happens to your audience? The audience that you built up on Facebook, okay? Or TikTok or Instagram, you know, with people that you recognize you as being a representative of Rod Company, you know, at A or X, right? How do you reach them? Just a post on Facebook, social media, is that going to do it? One post? Okay? Everyone tells us, any kind of study tells us that people need to see things 3 to 5 times before they react or act upon them in terms of buying a product. Okay? So how are you going to transition and communicate that transition to the people who follow you when you make a change like that? Okay? On social media. It becomes hard, doesn't it? So what you want to do is you want to utilize that audience to grow your own personal audience off of social media. How do you do that? What does that mean? Jay, I don't understand what that means. That means I may have 13,000 subscribers today. I don't know what it is today, but on YouTube. But only a third of those are actually my audience because I actually have the ability to contact them off platform. Okay? Meaning I change rod companies from Rod Company X to Rod Company Y. I have their email. I have their phone for text. I can notify them. Hey, look, guys, 2023 season's coming around the corner. I am changing rod companies. I want to let you know. So if you're interested in receiving any information about the rod company, the products, product reviews, stay tuned. Let me know. Okay? Boom. Goes on out. Okay? YouTube can never take those 3,000 contacts away from me. they can take every single one of my followers, subscribers on YouTube away. Instagram can shut your account. Facebook and Instagram can shut your account down. Google can shut your account down on YouTube for, whatever. Facebook, if you say on your personal page, you make some kind of statement that's unpopular in the political landscape of today, they could freeze your account up and you don't have access to any of your pages or any of your followers or any of your contacts. You need to understand that if you are a pro staff, okay, you need to be, for your own brand, okay, Angler, Angler Tom, right? He has to have his own audience and grow his own brand identity for that audience, utilizing all the social media platforms, not relying on them, not depending on them, but utilizing them as a means to grow this audience that he can take with him wherever he goes. Okay? And so the next question ultimately is always, Jay, how do I do that? Right? Like, what? Okay, content is how you do that. Content and engagement, okay? Put yourself out there, okay? Understand that while people will celebrate your tournament, if you're an angler, right? At the end of the day, if you want to keep them engaged, keep them in your audience, you have to provide some sort of value to them. Otherwise, you're just like them otherwise, YouTube to them is like them going to the movies, right? They pay their money, boom, they see a movie, they're done, okay? They watch your video, they're done. There's no engagement, right? And so what you have to do through your pro staffing is understand what the expectation is of your brand first and foremost. Because you are part of the marketing department, okay? Your job is your supplement, okay? Your second job, okay? Some people call it a side hustle, whatever you want to call it, is being a marketing arm of your brands. All of the brands that sponsor you, okay? So their expectation is you are going to be out marketing their brands for them, engaging with potential customers for them. That's why they have the contracted with you as a pro staff or a sponsor if it's, upfront investment, okay? Now, understand it on the marketing side, community. And most anglers have never been in that. Most anglers and hunters, okay, that are seeking pro staff, have never worked in marketing, have never been in a marketing department at a big company, have never worked with other anglers or hunters through marketing in terms of facilitation of information to get out there, right, on social media, right? You do not want to be known in the marketing circles as a 10%er, okay? You don't want that label. And a lot of people are like, when I tell that to people, they're like, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means. A 10%er is the demo brand ambassador pro staffer who only wants the 10% discount. And that's all they want. They care about the logo on their jersey, okay, getting a logo for self-validation, okay, for their buds and their peers, and look, man, I'm sponsored, whatever, okay, whatever that's all about, okay, for self-gratification, and they care about the 10% discount. They're going to get 10% off of their baits, okay? When in reality, the company itself offers that same 10% off or 15% off to first-time customers anyway. And how do they, what do you need to do to get that 10 or 15%? All of you have seen this. They capture your email. Why do they capture your email? Because they want to create their own audience that they own. That's what you need to be doing as a pro staffer. If you are serious about generating pro staff income, okay, off of your work, above and beyond whatever discount you get, because once you have your audience, you then become, you then have the ability to leverage that audience to dictate your pro staff brand ambassador deal in terms of, hey, look, man, I've got 150,000 member audience. Here are the analytics. Okay? What can we do moving forward? We've got a bunch of brands coming out. We've got a bunch of new rods coming out, right? In 2023. What can we do together? How can we work bit more together? What kind of, incentive is there out there? Boom, boom, right? All this stuff is predicated on your audience and your ability to move your audience. One of the first things that demonstrates your ability to move an audience is your audience itself off of social media, because you move them through a call to action to provide you their email or phone number. That's a very hard thing to do, okay? And most people are limited by that. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to pitch that. They don't know how to, and that's why I'm doing these videos for people, and you can reach out to me and I will help anyone to provide them the right information to get them started. Because it's important for people. It's important in this environment where anglers are strapped with higher entry fees, higher gas prices, higher everything, that they have an ability to at least attempt to offset a lot of these things. And you can do that through commissions paid to you by your brands for the efforts in marketing that you do. But it starts with growing your audience first and generating your own audience that goes with you wherever you go, not just on YouTube or on Facebook and all the social media platforms. You want to develop a call to action, to where you provide tiered content for people, to where like you're an angler, you're a kayak angler, okay, competing in Hobie or KBF or something like that, and you're going to do a series on what it's like to be an angler in the KBF or Hobie, and you're going to do all that. And you've got your basic videos on YouTube, but maybe you want to offer a little bit more in-depth lake breakdown, river breakdown, right? Something a little bit more juicy. Well, in order for them to get that, they need to provide their email, because that's in essence what you need and what you want, okay, growing forward. Now, a lot of people don't want to go that route, right? And that's why they have all of these followers on YouTube, and that's it. And they don't have engagement. They just have subscribers. They're not going to be able to move them to buy a product. They're not going to be able to inform them or engage with them off of that platform in terms of a new product. Everything's going to have to be on YouTube to reach those people. As opposed to, we all know sometimes videos and TikToks and tweets from Twitter don't really capture everything that you want to say, okay? In terms of a product review, right? Or you got to have a blog, and people have kind of moved away from blogs. But here's the thing. If you create a blog, you then can share the link to each individual post in your email, okay? And I can show you how to do that. It's very simple through any of the services you can get, that will allow you to just send the same email to my 3,000 plus email list, right? In the fishing community. Boom. That stuff doesn't have to be on YouTube. Doesn't have to be on, because again, you're offering someone something that not everybody is getting on YouTube. Because not all the things that I do are on YouTube. Not all the things that I do are on TikTok or on Instagram. In fact, most of the things that I do and most of the information that I share is off the platform. Growing that audience. Providing incentives for people. And how do you grow? So people, the next question often is, Jay, how do I grow? How do I get that? How do I get people to do a call to action? How do I get people to give me their email to grow my own audience offline? And it's through your content, through giveaways, through prizes, through incentivizing, creating something, like I said before, like a lake breakdown series or a river breakdown, or a series on how I fish the chatterbait, how I fish the crankbait, right? That people are genuinely interested in. Okay? They will give you their email if they believe that you are going to provide them value. And this is where your pro staffing brand ambassador link comes in. Okay? All these baits that got released at ICAST 2022. What if a guy, okay, it came to your email box? All the new baits, Hellraiser from Z-Man, Slobberknocker from Berkeley, came to your inbox, breaking them down, okay? Where you can buy them, how you can use them, everything. especially if you're a Berkeley pro staff or you're a Z-man. But yet again, you go on social media, you look at people. I know people that basically are out there, promoting Z-Man, and there's like a small little post about Hellraiser and maybe a picture, and that's it. You're not going to get engagement with that. You're not. Okay? Because you're not providing any value. You're not providing contextual value to people to move them. Okay? And that's what you want to do. You ultimately, for your brand, want to move them to a purchase. That should be your incentive. But for 10%ers, their incentive is I can get my baits for 10% off. That's their end game. And ultimately, you become a 10%er, the industry recognizes you as such, and over time, you will not get any more sponsorship. You won't get that next tier deal, sponsorship or affiliate or commission or whatever, because you're not doing the work to attract and engage your audience to help them grow their brand. And in essence, that's what they care about. They don't care about your tournament win, okay? Or where you came down on the AOI standings. They care about how are you growing your audience? How many people are you reaching? What's your engagement? How many people have you moved to our website? All of that stuff's in analytics. Okay, and you want to be able to have that analytics when you sit down with someone. Okay, you get in a Zoom call with a brand, you want to be able to share screen. You want to be able to show them, these are my analytics. Okay, and so that's how I'm like, when people look at me, they're like, dude, like, how do you, it's not all. I mean, a lot of things are the things you don't see that drive that. And so when I release a video on YouTube, if I think it's a good video, that I think a lot of people may miss, or a lot of people, I can send that video via email to over 3,000 people. Okay? And then you get views that. Now, they don't all show up in your analytics. Okay? I have 3.7 million views on YouTube. Okay? But I only have 13,000 subscribers. So I have a lot of work to do myself, right? How do I move those 3 million viewers to becoming a subscriber? That's where your mindset has to be. How do I get people to support the brands that are supporting me? Okay? It's not just a little post on your personal Facebook page. Okay? You've got to be out promoting on various platforms, creating an audience, sending emails, asking people if they have any questions, asking people how they're doing with the baits that have bought the baits. Yes, it's a lot of work. But that's how they determine the true pro staff talent pool for the real sponsorship money. People that are generating sales for the company. And you start off by doing that is understanding the difference between your social media following, subscriber audience, and your real audience. The people that really are engaged with you, that you can move going forward. All right, mates.